Hello Galactic family. This whole year was full of powerful changes that shook us to our core, and September was one of the most intense months we have experienced so far. Many people reported that they were feeling disoriented, dazed and exhausted, and perhaps more sensitive and emotional than usual. Every time we go through these changes, desligamos us more and more of the old power structure, which prevented us from living as our authentic selves. Although it may seem as if things were falling apart in different parts of the world, or even in our own lives, sometimes the changes that occur at the moment are not just changing our fundamental beliefs and priorities. They are changing the inner center of life on our planet. This is a time of incredible change. We are seeing a miraculous rebalancing of women and men energies of humanity. Here we are speaking of the women's and men's energies in the universal sense. We are ignoring the roles of physical and social identities now, and talking only about the higher energies. And as we know this is happening, a self-image new fully. Take a look around now and you will see that almost everywhere in the world, the old ideas are being completely rewritten, as we adjust to an outpouring of the presence of the divine feminine on earth. Systems that were once based on the low and dense view of the separation and service personnel, who are now taking or reinvent themselves completely integrating these higher energies, or simply dissolve. Let's look at the Middle East, Asia and African countries. Many women in these countries are starting their own businesses and now becoming leaders in their communities and protecting the right of women to education and health. In Western countries, governments, banks and monetary systems are driven to higher levels of honesty and transparency. Around the world, millions of conscious companies now forming. These are keeping the intention to serve the world and to give to others, instead of being concentrated in only take from others. We are seeing this now rebalancing, because the earth has entered a new era. A new era begins. As you know, thousands of years ago, the earth was a peaceful, global society. Humans, animals, plants, the earth, all coexist in peace. The basis of life was love, unity, honesty, respect and service to others. People honored both the divine feminine and the divine masculine. But over time, this perfect balance was released and forgotten. People began to turn more and more of his true identity. They disconnected the earth and each other. The human consciousness has fallen from the higher dimensions to the third dimension. Thousands of years that followed this fall in the density of the third dimension was a period that I call the Great Forgetting. This was the beginning of humans forgetting that they kept the divinity in them. They were the divinity itself in physical form. As they took the perspective of the third dimension, they became increasingly trapped in fear, defense and separation. Life it was not more cheerful and conscious creation. It became centered around the pure survival. We have also come from dense and less elevated ideas on the women and men's energies. We begin to see them as separate, even opposite, each other. Masculinity began to be seen in terms of control, domination, manipulation, greed and competition, which has created a global mentality of us versus them. People have come to overvalue the outer accomplishment, as the battles and winning competitions and the sport of blood, property, clan loyalty, physical strength and aggression. At the same time, we saw the feminine energy to be lower than the external force, action and control. We saw femininity as weakness, and almost all women as being made to the subordination and subservience, a life of obedient silence. Our seamless integration of men and women was lost because we allowed the lower and denser aspect of the masculine energy to control everything. He made the rules for our economic systems, governments, education and religion. He even controlled our thought processes and our actions as individuals. However, all this was simply part of the paper we create for ourselves, for everything you possibly learned and we earned by participating in this game, we forgot our true selves. Because no matter how much we seem to fall into separation and duality, one of our spirit, never forgot all about who we are. Our beautiful spirit knew that eventually over different lives and experiences one day we would get all the learning and the highest wisdom we had chosen to learn, and we should remember again our divinity. And over the past few decades, an amazing healing has occurred. We have been constantly releasing the old and obsolete beliefs in separation and inequality of male and female energies. We are seeing an even bigger upgrade, a major shift in the collective consciousness. Billions of people around the world are now remembering and anchoring the higher aspects of the feminine and masculine energies in every area of life. The feminine and male sacred. So what are the women and men sacred energies in their highest forms? The female is the spark of creation that anchors the spark of divinity at all. It is the powerful force that manifests the visible kingdom from the invisible realms, using the gifts of creativity, love, beauty. The male is the activation of this project, demonstrating a higher project through intention and external action. When the masculine and feminine energies are associated in co-creation effortless, they bring the divinity the external form, in all its manifestations amazing. You may be seeing or experiencing it now, and know that what is happening to him is the end of the great forgetting. We are now seeing the beginning of the great remembering. The energies of the divine masculine and feminine are again intertwining in a perfect flow. What we are experiencing is simply a beautiful balancing these two energies. At a deeper level of our collective being, humanity now decreed that the divine feminine should be allowed, respected and even celebrated. And the Great Mother within each of us not only heard but answered. The divine feminine again now aroused in human consciousness. As a result, even our individual priorities are changing mightily. Many people are feeling a strong urge to redefine their purpose in life. They are no longer content with a life that does not bring you joy and satisfaction. It is true that this kind of inner shock, which is a redefinition of its inner purpose, is a big move, and can leave many feeling shaken and confused. But this big change means that soon, everyone will clearly see the way that she needs to take in order to live your higher purpose. An entirely new design. Many men who used to incorporate a lot of old masculine energies are now realizing quickly that the old ways no longer work, or they are simply not allowed. Some men and women mainly incorporate the masculine energy. They are finding it difficult to make the transition from your old male identity, because they are still living almost completely in your mind and ego. However, an increasing number of men are responding to the energies that are now powerfully flowing across the earth. They are opening up to intuition, the achievements based on heart and motivation, and the ability to care for others. The current energies are giving them the chance to embrace, love and join the divine feminine energy, so that they can release the old wound masculinity and incorporate the new higher design energy of the divine masculine. This new divine masculine lives in perfect balance with the divine feminine. He values and live from the heart and intuition, creativity, respect and service to others that flow from them. Both men and women, which allowed the other controllasm for thousands of years. But now, whether in their marriages, friendships or workplace, people are no longer tolerating the domain or other more dense and less high behaviors. They are positioning themselves, speaking from the heart and into the power of your true, balanced and authentic selves. Another amazing change that is happening now is that many women are noticing that men who are accepting and incorporating the energy of the divine masculine in their lives are, more often, treating them as goddesses. These men are giving permission to respect women in ways they may never have explored so far. If you are getting special attention from men in your life, give yourself permission to enjoy and receive this goodness. This is part of the new balance that you are also demonstrating now, while allowing the masculine energy the honor in new ways. Men and women are adjusting to this rebalancing energies. If we are experiencing an internal struggle in this area, this may be due to not fully accept the divine feminine in ourselves. There are many ways to do this. Expressing ourselves through dance, art, music, spending more time in silence with Mother Earth, or making a useful volunteer work with children or animals. All are wonderful ways to open an expression of the divine feminine. It is also very important to nourish our physical, emotional and mental bodies now, so that we can more easily navigate the wave of the divine feminine energies are poured out at this time, allowing these changes to flow through us. It is essential now that we take care, because this is a big part of anchor the divine feminine energy in ourselves and in the world. Each has its own way to take care of, is having a coffee in bed, taking a day off to relax, meditating and talking to the guides, absorbing the beauty of Mother Earth, or whatever treat us in a positive way. When we take care of ourselves, we are taking care of the world around us. Even when these changes seem immense and challenging, know that this amazing time of change on Earth, we are entering a new era. And we choose to be here to experience it. Until next time, miraculously His